All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is round 2 tonight on Sportzwire Radio. If you might have missed us here over the past couple of days, we come back here in style, and it is almost like, in a way, the true kickoff of summer here. The true kickoff of July 4th weekend, the barbecues, the celebrations. Forget about Indiana Jones coming out, Mission Impossible, all the movies, all the stuff out there, Money in the Bank this weekend, pales into comparison of the war that everybody's been talking about here in the wrestling world. That is DKW IMF, and it's round 3 technically, because we are now going to be coming up here to Summer Bash this weekend, this time in DKW's home arena, and we've got 3 guys that are going to be, I'm sure, a huge part of things to come. We have, for the first time with us, Combat Joe. You're going to find out why. He is always ready for combat. Our very good friend, Mr. Darkron, the former DKW Hardcore Champion. And as always, we are forsaken because he is here, the reigning, defending DKW Champion of the World, Mr. Matthew Forsaken. These gentlemen need no further introductions, but I'm going to give it to him anyway. Despite my voice being basically halfway shot, they're still getting it. With without further ado, here on the Sports Report, number 1, Global Sports Show. Wrestling stars here from the DKW, Dark Cryptic Wrestling, Combat Joe, Darkron, and Matthew Forsaken. Gentlemen, how you doing?
What's going on, Tom? Doing great.
Oh, you better be doing great here. We're kicking off the weekend. We're kicking off the barbecues, the fireworks, the movies, you name it.
Yeah.
We got it here, Summer Bash. And let's go right for the jugular here, because you know it, I know it. You're going to be joined by some of your compadres, your enemies, you might want to say, for the time being, plus a surprise guest. Shortly, let's go right to the jugular, our champion, our reigning, defending DKW Champion of the World, Mr. Matthew Forsaken. We are all forsaken once again because you are going to be a part of 2 of the biggest matches. If anybody saw Rage in the Cage, your match was literally, I mean, if Meltzer said 5 stars, I would have said 6 stars. What you did there in that cage, talk about that for those that are listening and watching on Sportswire Radio. And where do we go from here? And Summer Bash.
I mean, if you missed it, shows. Oh, I can't hear you there, Forsaken.
Kind of losing everybody. My bad.
Are we all forsaken on our Wi-Fi connection?
Guessing so. But no, Rage in the Cage, Jason Myers, and I had a little one-on-one for this DKW title. He stepped up. It was an open challenge, so I'll give him that. He's a man. You know, he just didn't come out on top because we all shall be forsaken. And I, had to go to the top of the cage, come down on hard. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Listen, you definitely proved your worth. You definitely proved why you are basically the reigning, defending champion here from DKW. So I'm going to have to ask you, and obviously you've got 2 really intense matches. I'm going to get Darkron's perspective on at least the tag match in a second. But after everything you put your body through, and I'm going to ask Darkron the same question and the IMF guys shortly, how are you going to be able to pull off the kind of action we're going to expect to see? Because you guys are going to have a lot of pressure to certainly top what you guys did 2 weeks ago in the IMF yard.
Yeah, I mean, so there's a tag match, right, coming up. The Soldier, my partner, taking on this.
Taking on me and Omen, right?
Soldier's my partner. Yeah, we'll end you 2. Don't worry. We'll start the show right. Put you guys down real quick.
See, Soldier done slipped up. He fucked with Omen's match. He fucked with Omen's match. He done pissed off Omen. Omen is infuriated. I'm loving it.
Okay, I have no doubt that Omen, Mr. Black, I got a lot of questions for him. We're going to find out if he's got a lot of answers, or at least some answers. So the kind of mood that Omen's going to be in here, I mean, how do you
Omen
think
and we're going to hell.
Oh, we know that. I mean, listen, we're all going to hell to begin with, but imagine the hell that you guys are going to go through. I mean, but are you concerned, Forsaken, that you're getting Omen in a mood that who knows what kind of mood he's going to be in? Because after what he did, and we thought retaining the title against Darkron, to lose the title the way he did in this kind of intra-party IMF war, and I have no doubt maybe we'll discuss that, But I mean, are you concerned that Omen's going to take out all of his angst toward you in the all stages match?
Well, no. I mean, I'm not worried. Like, I'd rather him come at me with a vengeance. I don't want to face some little teddy bear. I want a beast. I'm going to drag him
Remember who
through
won the
hell.
last All Out Hell?
Oh, you calm down, Kron. Whatever. I have the belt that you want, right? You know, you lost your title to an IMF guy who's still holding it. Who's going to be my tag team partner.
I'll get that back. I'll get that back.
Uh-huh.
I'm not worried about it. I'll get it back.
Whatever, dude. You know,
you got a lot
I've been holding this title for a long time now. Things
you got people lined up for you.
You know, that burns a little bit.
Everybody wants it.
You know, I know Forsaken, we had you on not too long ago, and that burned a little bit when you said that to some people, especially Darkron. And, you know, that's got to still give you continued satisfaction that you are representing the company and you've got this title that, frankly, nobody wants you to have.
Right. You know, it's fine with me. I have, like, no shame in holding this title. Just, I'm sure even Combat Joe up there being quiet, ain't saying anything yet. I'm sure he's
I'm absolutely going to get to him. I absolutely
going
to get to him.
But still, I'm the one holding it. No one else is.
You'll regret holding it.
Holman put me through a table last time, but All Out Hell, it's my rules. You can't just put somebody through a table. You got to pin them, make them tap out, or you knock them out. That's it. You have to end the match.
Let me ask you guys just a general question, and maybe I'll go into Darkron with this, because what I think is so interesting to note about this show coming up, Summer Bash, which again, we can go to Dark Cryptic Wrestling and watch on YouTube. Also, the IMF, please support these great companies' channels, is that it's almost kind of like a celebration, I think, of almost both companies. I know it's Summer Bash, but it's a celebration of both companies. And it's a 2-day event. It's almost kind of like WrestleMania here. We had WrestleMania, and WrestleMania is 2 days event. And what does that mean to you guys? That this is essentially almost like a multi-day event, not just a one-and-done show. You go for a couple hours, you wrestle, and you go back home. What's that mean to you?
Well, I'm glad you asked, to be honest. You know, characters and all aside, I would love to make this Summer Bash the first weekend of July every year and try to bring the community of backyard wrestling all together in one area and make it a big deal. And I have plenty of room on our property for people to camp out and stay here and have a good time. That's what I want to do. I want to make this show here a backyard gathering.
Well, I gotta be honest. I might have to take you up on that offer. I wish I could do it this weekend, but unfortunately, I'm like so overloaded. And I actually have an interview at this time. You guys are going to be on the air, but it's definitely something on the bucket list, and I think it's a really cool thing. And I'm glad, and I'll come back to this, war in a second. Obviously, we've been watching it. It's incredible stuff, but I think it's important to note that we're trying to bring the wrestling community, not just the backyard community, but I really believe the rest. Because I always look at you guys as wrestlers. So I know people say, "Oh, backyard pro." I believe you guys are wrestlers because you guys are putting your bodies out there. You are putting your stuff out there. So we on Sportswire, always want to give you guys full support and full love. But I do feel that this is a big deal in a way because a lot of people look at it and say, "Oh, you're a yarder. Oh, this," and I don't want to go into that again. But I think it's really important to note that we bring the communities together because I think in a lot of ways we don't have everybody's like fighting each other or kind of like we're not on the same wavelength. And what do you guys say to that?
Work together, we grow together.
We all win. Listen, we all win.
Yeah, work together.
That's if you have other companies to mess with.
Well, and we want to see more of this, right? Don't we want to see more dream matches? What I say before in the past, the NWA, the AWA used to square off, the old WWF Mid-South. You always see that, in that kind of competition. The spirit of competition makes us grow better. It makes us grow better as wrestlers. It makes us all, great stuff there. So I definitely am very happy that we got to talk about this. But I want to come into Combat Joe for a second. I'll come back to Darkron. But Combat, it's good to be with you here on Sportswire. This is the first time we have you here. I have no doubt you have some things to say. Mr. Forsaken even kind of mentioned you briefly. So for those that are listening and watching on Sportswire Radio, set the tables on the kind of wrestler you are, and how do you fall into all this here coming up this weekend?
First off, I'd like to I appreciate the fact that you acknowledge that we put our bodies on the line, and that's great how you feel. Really appreciate that.
My pleasure.
Really, Summer Bash, man. And I'm putting myself here, just like Forsaken wants to all be forsaken. I am, for one, done losing. I am going win streak and prove to everybody, not only in DKW, but everywhere, that I am the best there is. And as
Your win over me was a fluke, boy.
Ron, you'll find you both.
Go on. Go on.
Combat Joe, did I not? But
Taken.
was this yours? Oh, my bad.
You know, I want to follow up for you, Combat Joe, on this, and I'll come to the guys. I've had them on before, but, you know, you talked about different things there briefly. And is there, I don't want to say it, maybe I'll say it anyway. You have something to prove here, more so than anybody else on the DKW end this weekend? What do you say to that?
I have my fair share to prove myself, but you know, I feel like after Summer Bash, everybody will know who I am. And as for Summer Bash, as I said, I have no match. So, Dirty Donnie, I'd like to call you out for a rematch. And Summer Bash, you're going to find out too. Accept this open challenge.
Wait. Time out here. Combat Joe. Did I think that I just heard, and again, I might need to get my ears checked. I need to get a lot of things. But did you just say, for those that are listening and watching here on Sportswire Radio, the #1 global radio station, that you, Combat Joe, are challenging one half of the brand new IMF Tag Team Champions of the World, Dirty Donnie? Did I hear that correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, you did.
So why Dirty Donnie?
You know, the last match, I feel that I just, again, trying to prove myself, I was not the same wrestler as I was. And this match that I had at Raging Cage also made me realize that I need to step up. So I am here to do that now with Dirty Donnie and prove that the people that have beaten me before cannot beat me now.
Well, all right. I mean, I guess we may have to see here. You know, Darkron, I want to come back to you because we spoke about Mr. Forsaken's match and how it was certainly one of those match of the year candidates. You had your own match in your own right with Mr. Omen Black that I'm still surprised you're even sitting down right now, standing with what you guys put your bodies through. And on top of that, the rain, which I have a question I want to ask you guys on also in wrestling in that rain. What was that experience like? I mean, that was something like, you know, you're watching it on YouTube, right? You're looking and saying, okay, well, it's one thing, but actually physically like living and breathing in that and doing what you guys did. And, you know, you guys traveled, you know, certainly wasn't a 15-minute commute. That's certainly one thing in itself. But, you know,
it was a different experience. I'd definitely tell you that.
I'm going to get to that. I'm going to get to that in a second. But I mean, you know, you obviously have a rematch against Soulja for a title that you have made claim and you want it back. You've badly wanted it back. You've also got something to prove after what Omen did to you. He disposed of you to retain his championship at the time. And then we've got to do this dance here with the tag match, which was broke here on Sportswire Radio several weeks ago. So for you, I mean, I got to think also there's a lot in the line for you because you could walk away once again empty-handed. You know, you were shut out from Omen's title at the time, and you've got Soulja's walking around with your championship, and Soulja has made repeated claim. He did it Friday on Friday's show with the WCE boys, and he's done it time and time again that he's walking with your championship around, defending it even in other companies. That has got to burn at you far more than Forsaken holding that championship. So what do you say to all that there, Darkron?
Simple as this. I'm getting my title back. I ain't worried about it. I look past Soldier. The first time I faced him, it was just like it was some chump that wanted to come up here in my yard, try to take my title. And I just looked way over him. And that's completely my fault. As for that tag match, see, look, the master plan. Soldier screwed up. When he messed with Omen, he had Jordan help Jordan turn on Omen. Leave Omen and
we're gonna get to that. We are gonna get to that.
He pissed him off good. I'm gonna use that to my advantage. He's gonna weaken Soldier up for me. So when we get that hardcore match, I'm gonna leave him in a pool of his own blood as I walk out with my title.
So you actually think then? So then, let me get this straight, because I asked it in a different way to Forsaken, because he's going to be on the other end of it. So you actually feel then that it's advantage you in the sense that Omen's going to be in the tag match. I mean, he's going to be fired up like there's no tomorrow. He's going to be teed off because of losing that title, and you think it's going to be the advantage, and it's going to help you guys, especially against, Mr. Forsaken and certainly Soldier there. I mean, is that what you're trying to tell us here?
I've also beat Forsaken in an all-out hell match, so I can also offer help to Omen to beat Forsaken.
Okay. The champ's confident, though. Champ, come in, because you got a certain aura to you, because you were the guy that pretty much walked away, continued doing what you've done here. It's retain that championship despite everybody kind of not wanting you here, and you seem to be thriving right now on that.
Yep.
See how relevant I am without a championship? Not the championship.
There was a wrestler. Listen, there was a wrestler that came on that stream last week with Mr. Craven Rage. I'm not going to say that wrestler's name because I'm sure somebody out there in the IMF knows who I'm talking about. And that wrestler was trying to make claim of that. But there's a big difference here. Forsaken is on a run right now that I would dare say, of all the champions we've had here on Sportswire, we've had a number of champions. He's on a run right now. What he did in the Rage in the Cage, he's certainly the Rage against the Machine right now.
Yeah, I'll give him that. He had the best match at Rage in the Cage. That's all right.
I'll give him that too.
Let me ask you guys, though.
That wasn't just him. Jason Myers, man, he's truly the future.
Oh, listen, I think everybody that went out there and wrestled in that, deserves all the props in the world. And I was going to ask you guys both that question. We've covered a lot on Sportswire, over the past, 4.5 years I'm doing this. I had a wrestler on today from England, and he's wrestling in a no ropes match. But a no ropes match to me pales into comparison of what you guys did, in the cage, literally. And then on top of that, in these conditions, it almost was like I was watching, Woodstock 99. It was almost like I was watching like an old Ozfest where it was like everybody's in the pit and the rain is coming down, the thunder and all this stuff. And I mean, how did you guys?
Yeah, I do miss the pit. It's been a good time since I've been in the pit.
You me both. You me both, man. You me both. But I mean, what was that experience like? And just being out there and wrestling that, did it, talk about that? I'm so fascinated with that.
That was different. I mean, it is hard to keep footing. It was hard to climb anything.
Oh, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
Literally, like, trying to run across the ring was like ice skating. It was truly the most impossible thing.
Man,
ours wasn't as bad as Combat Joe's. That triple threat match, they were literally swimming in the ring.
They like poured down when that match happened. I actually got kind of lucky. I didn't have to deal with the rain at all.
Oh, yeah. Forsaken got good.
Yeah, he was dry.
Lucky you, I guess. That's kind of been your luck. I mean, Combat Joe, you're seeing this also in, talk about that. And just seeing and observing all this stuff. Talk to me about it.
It was definitely something different. Seeing everybody wrestling in that pond of a ring. But I know for one, my match, it was very hard and difficult to wrestle with the puddle in the middle of a ring.
Puddle of the pool.
I was I was wondering so much about that, because obviously most of you guys in the IMF boys, I'm sure I'll ask them something, and I'll bring them on here in probably about 10 or 15 minutes. We'll also be joined by Chris Craven. I have some comments here now that we're live, so I'll get to those in a second. But it's for anyone, I'll go with combat first. Have you ever wrestled in a match like this before, or can you prepare for something like this? I'm almost like fascinated by that.
I don't know, man. It was you might, but I for one definitely was not prepared.
Train a pool. Train a pool that's about 2 inches deep.
Well, I wouldn't have wanted to been the person that would have had to have cleaned that up and kind of taken the ring down. If that's the case, I would not have wanted to have been that person. So all credit goes in the world to the ring team that sets and breaks down the ring. Let me get to some comments here. I want to give a huge shout out to our very good friend, Mr. BMD, the Big Daddy Memorial Battle Royal winner from our friends over at Firestar Championship Wrestling. They have a big show coming up August the 12th, who's up, by the way, at 1:35 a.m., probably because he's excited about Money in the Bank, which is over in Sheffield here this weekend. So big shout out to our brothers in the UK, especially Mr. BMD, one of our favorites. Commissioner Mark Packer from WC's Wrestling Championship Entertainment. I'm sure that there'll always be a topic of discussion here. They're saying hello. I guess Mr. Packer is scouting as always. I'm sure that the IMF boys find that fascinating. I believe that Mr. Black himself is here. Can't understand that chump with the McDonald's Wi-Fi. Well, he means champ, meaning I guess Forsaken. And that kid forgot to bring his floaties at Rage in the Cage. Yeah, that just reminds me. That reminds me of when I was a kid, you'd have block parties, and the block parties, all of a sudden, it'd start to rain and it'd be thunder, and everything else would come down, and people would just run around in the rain. In fact, a few years ago, I was working, and I actually, was in a couple of those when I was doing my political career, and I was, going to those things, and you just, they're so fascinating. But that's great stuff here. But let's come back then to where we go here, Summer Bash. Now, I'm going to go with Forsaken first, then I'll go with Darkron, because it seems to me so far, I guess the IMF still has an edge here, because we walked away empty-handed with then Omen's title, and then we've got also Soldier still walking around with the DKW hardcore title, and the IMF tag titles are in the IMF's possession. So, I mean, Mr. Forsaken, I know what the answer I'm going to get from you, but I still got to ask it to you anyway. I mean, do you feel like DKW has to really defend its home advantage here, a home backyard, and kind of one up IMF here? And, what else after these first couple of shows? I mean, you have a thought or two on that?
So, as a whole, DKW, it doesn't really. I'm going to handle it. I'm going to win. Like, I'll get my win over Omen for sure. He fell. I accepted that tables match, and he put me through a table. But again, all out hell. You can't just put me through a table to win. You're gonna have to knock me out. You're gonna have to make me submit, or you can pin me. But I don't think that's gonna happen.
Well, I have a comment for you, Mr. Forsaken, because this is going to segue for us here in a couple of minutes, because we're going to hear from a number of different people shortly. So, and that is, of course, somebody that I know that is back. He's ready. He's 100% healthy, I hear, apparently, from if you follow the IMF socials. And did you forget about Felix Jones? Because he also wants to remind us, I still got my title shot that you said I could have. What do you say? You're on the spot because we know Felix is back. He's ready to go.
Hey, as long as you're not too fragile, you don't get broke from here to the time we actually have a match. I just got to handle Omen first, but you're more than welcome. We all shall be forsaken.
Are you saying that's a yes? Are you saying that's a maybe? Or what are you saying exactly about that?
Oh, it's a yes. It's still going to happen. He wants the title shot. I'll give him a title shot. Just, he may get broken again. Not my fault.
Mr. Jones has an interesting point here. It could even be me versus Omen. I mean, you so sure that you're going to retain is basically what that's a fair point. Because like I told you at the very beginning when we had you just introducing, I mean, I don't know what kind of mood Omen's going to be in. He might take it out on you. I don't know if I'd want to be that first opponent since what happened to him at Rage in the Cage.
Hey, barbed wire, I love. There's going to be plenty of that. There'll be a cage on one side. Got hella thumbtacks. I got a new, something new I'm going to bring to the show this time. So I mean, I'm not worried necessarily about Owen and I, because we will go through hell. One of us is going to come out the champ, regardless of who it is. Felix, if I'm the champ or not, you still want a match regardless. I mean, you can still go one-on-one. And if I happen to be the champion, then you get a chance to title shot against me. But if not, you take it up with Omen. But I don't think Omen's going to win. Sorry.
We'll certainly have to find out. And I know Mr. Jones has a response before I bring in Mr. Dark Kron. Omen, I'm 3-1 against you. Sounds like I'm coming back to Cedar Rapids as DKW World Champion. That's certainly going to remains to be seen for sure. But
Big
Dark,
for a little kid.
People definitely dream. But you know what? After what Jordan did to Omen, I can't count anybody out at this point. I would just say, Jordan's the IMF champion right now, so I cannot count anybody
Jordan
out
had
right
help
now.
From a veteran. I don't think unless Felix has something up his sleeve.
Well, you know what? As I told our guest earlier today, Mr. Young Horace, I said, whatever you say, don't tell us the plans because somebody will use it and run and take it and some. I asked you then the question, Darkron. I asked you this question the first time. I'm going to ask you again. Right now, I kind of feel like the IMF still has the upper hand in this war here. I almost feel like this very well could be the climax of where we go here with this between now and wherever else we go with the rest of the year. Do you feel like now back in your building, defending the yard here in DKW, Dark Cryptic Wrestling, obviously one of the premier yards around in this business, in this sport, whatever you want to call it, in addition to that, is there pressure on you guys to walk away with some wins and especially for you, take back a title that enemy territory has? I mean, what do you think on all that?
Yeah, there's always pressure to win, especially on our home turf. And yeah, I definitely feel the pressure from my title match, but like I said, I have a pretty good game plan.
Okay.
I think my strategy's going to work.
Well, you seem like you got a plan this time.
I've forgotten about the fact that I've already beaten him in an all-out hell match, and I'm the only one that's beaten him in an all-out hell match. So I could help Omen, and he's not even thinking about that.
But I'm going to get those guys on shortly. I promise you. But, Combat Joe, I asked this question. Obviously, we've gotten Forsaken's answer. We've gotten Darkron's answer. Back in the home building, home cooked, nothing like a home cooked meal, nothing like 2 days, a DKW cooking, being back, sleeping in the bed. Maybe that gives something. They say that in sports all the time. You're back in your home building, you get that extra good night's sleep. And boy, I could use that, but that's a different topic for a different time. But, I mean, do you feel like, Combat Joe, that there's pressure on you guys to kind of come away here and walk away with some W's here and bring back some gold? And especially after I kind of feel, and most people feel, I know IMF has got a little bit of an upper hand on you guys so far.
There is definitely more pressure because it is our home turf. Well, I definitely have more pressure given the fact of my last. So I for one, a lot of pressure on me, but it is nice to be back here, and I feel that I will perform a lot better.
All right, well, I'm going to ask everybody a fun question here before I do, segues and then kind of bring everybody else back on. Is it going to rain this weekend in Ohio?
Hope not.
Yeah, hopefully not.
Really hope not.
All right, well, you know what? I thought that would be the most, obvious question to ask here. And Felix Jones also says, I want the best Forsaken, not a tired Forsaken. We'll have to find out here, but we are on Sportswire Radio. We've gotten the DKW side of things here when it comes to the Summer Bash, the war of the summer. The rage continues on between DKW, Dark Cryptic Wrestling, and IMF. You can follow on YouTube at IMF Wrestling 666. DKW's Dark Cryptic Wrestling. We are joined here by DKW stars Combat Joe, Darkron, and our reigning defending DKW champion of the world. We are all forsaken by Matthew Forsaken. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce. If you like what you hear from us on Sportswire Radio, you can continue to give us a like and follow on Facebook at Sportswire Radio. YouTube, if you're here, thank you for tuning in. We're at Sportswire Radio, also 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. You can listen to all of our great content on sportnarium.com/player. And we'll have more wrestling coverage I brought up Saturday. We will have on Warhog, the Ensaw Youngblood champion. We will also have on Sunday, we will have on a slew of stars from ROEW Backyard Wrestling, the good guy CJ Black and their champion Jason Storm. So we'll see what the wild card Jason Storm and the good guy CJ Black have to say. But in the meantime, we are here with DKW stars plus much, much more. And my name is the Reverend Tom Bryce. So you know what? We're going to bring on some different people here. So first, before I bring on my surprise, my craven that some people like here, I'm going to bring on here Mr. Omen Black. And then it looks like we get a 2 for the price of 1 because we have Soldier, the popular heel monster himself, the now DKW Hardcore Champion, also the first IMF Grand Slam winner. He is one half of the Tag Team Champions, and the man who is back fresh off the shelf. He's ready to return 100% just about. That is Felix Jones. IMF boys, how you doing tonight?
Doing good.
You know, I want to go back to you, Felix Jones, first, because Felix Jones, you certainly made some comments here. You've reminded us astutely that you are back and you do actually qualify to eventually get that title shot against Mr. Matthew Forsaken. So for those that are listening and watching, I mean, Felix, good to be with you here for the first time, and welcome back. And what do you want to say directly toward Mr. Matthew Forsaken?
Forsaken, before you face Omen, I want my title shot because I don't want to face someone that went through what you guys are going to go through. I want to face you at your best, not you at your worst. So if you don't mind, Omen, I would like to face Forsaken first.
Sorry, with me.
Really? Omen Black. Is that correct? That you really say, all right, go ahead. Felix, continue.
So now, Forsaken,
two
Omen,
title
okay,
stuff, title matches that weekend, huh?
look, I already
understand
eliminated
you
you from the
McDonald's
Rumble.
Wi-Fi.
That's a win in my books. So now I just got to pin you, and that's not hard.
He's dying.
Okay. Hey, we'll find out this weekend.
All right, well, I guess
clearly,
we will.
Felix Jones and Matthew Forsaken for the DKW World Title. And then it's going to be Omen Black versus Matthew Forsaken again for the DKW World Title. Because I'm going to retain it against Felix if we can't then.
Felix Jones, let me ask you a follow-up question, if you do not mind, before I get to Soldier himself and Mr. Omen Black. I got to ask you an obvious question here. I know a stupid question, a Captain Obvious one, Felix, but what would it mean to you, hypothetically, to be the DKW World Champion?
It would mean a lot, honestly, because then I did something that nobody else in the roster could do. I mean, my dad already took one of their belts, and he's going to retain his belt, and I'm going to take the other belt. And no matter who wins, me versus Omen, someone in IMF comes back with the DKW World Title.
You're funny. So
That's the
dang,
only thing
no
I'm
belt.
doing.
Okay, all right, we'll have to see. I'm going to come to Omen last from the IMF, but Soldier, I got to bring you in because Soldier, you were Soldier 2 belts once again. You are now a reigning, defending DKW Hardcore Champion. I saw your promo. You've certainly been carrying that title. We've talked about it already. You've been defending it in other companies, and you've also got those tag titles. And Soldier, I know you got a lot to say to Darkron. You got a lot to say in general here, and the floor is yours, my friend, and fire away.
Kron, you hear that ticking, right, in the back of your head? That countdown that I started last week. That countdown is still going.
Countdown.
And in 2 days' time, I'm going to bury you, bro. I'm going to destroy you. And I'm going to, then me and Matt are going to beat the hell out of you and Omen.
The only two current DKW champions teaming up. Yeah.
See, I don't understand why you want the
That'll
belt
be different by the end of
I don't understand. I mean, I understand why you want the belt back because it's your guys' company belt. I understand that. But again, all I've been asking you is for a thank you. A thank you for making this belt relevant. A thank you for the 6,000 views that have seen this title. The thank you for the subscribers because I took your belt. And I have yet to get one.
You don't need one.
I just want to thank
You don't
you.
need one. Just want to thank you. Thank me when I beat your ass and take my title back.
And then the last thank you is going to be when I finally pin you after beating your ass up and down your property. And I let you. I leave you alone and I walk back with this.
Maybe I'll end
But I
you with
am
that
going
title.
to say I do have something for you. I am going to leave you with a parting gift because after I whip your ass, I'm going to leave you with this nice shirt for you to remember me by, for you to remember the title by, because it's the DKW Hardcore New Popular Monster shirt. And on the back, it says, the greatest DKW Hardcore champion of all time. That's the only time. That's that picture of that title on that shirt is the next. That's the only chance of you ever touching this title again. Is when you look at that shirt hanging on your wall and realizing that the Soldier GP is better than Dark Kron.
You got a fluke win.
The first, it wasn't a fluke win,
know it.
son. I beat your ass. It wasn't a fluke win. I came in, I conquered, and I left. Soldier's 2 belts.
Why haven't you faced
You
me since?
came out with your promo and you said you were gonna zombify me because I was the popular monster. And the only one that got zombified was Dark Kron.
Yeah. That's in the past. The future.
And you want to sit there and say, oh, you pissed off Omen. Yeah, but Omen broke you. How much of a percentage are you? Because I know you're not 100%. I know you're probably not even 90%.
Well, that's a question we asked. That how are you guys going to be able to kind of pull it through? And you guys again have the momentum because we spoke about here in these 2 shows, the IMF has had the edge. But let me before I bring in my next guest, who I'm sure is going to have something to say about different things. And I kind of love having him. He's almost like our, I guess, new coach. I'm calling him the coach of Sportzwire Radio. In a second, I'll tell you guys why. But we have here Mr. Omen Black. Omen Black, probably the most interesting name that I can think of here on Sportswire. This is his show. This is his house, as he said here. So I want to give the champion this opportunity. And obviously,
Former champion.
I was going to certainly get to why he was the former champion. I was going to get to that why he used to be the champion. The reason that he's no longer the champion is because an individual that was very close to Mr. Black, named Jordan. I'm sure you know Mr. Jordan Nets. He is now the brand new IMF champion of the world. And I mean, how you feeling there, Omen? And what's going on? And did you expect this one coming?
I just want to get this off my chest.
Sir.
I'm not worried about the tag match. I'm not worried about all out hell. I'm confident with all that, but these past couple days have been truly a mental prison for me. Losing a brother, and I don't hold it against Jordan, not at all. I've said that in multiple times to myself that I don't hold it against him. I would have done the same thing if I was in his shoes. But Am I sad about losing the title, or am I sad about losing a brother? I'm more devastated at losing a brother than the world title.
Soldier said something after it happened at the end of the show, which I'm sure you're going to know what I'm about to say, is that you took something of his, now he took something of yours. What does that mean to you? Is it a brother or is that championship? What did Soldier really take from you?
He took my brother. The title means nothing to me. And the fact that he can sit there and say that he took my title, I don't care about the title. Jordan was my brother. He was more family to me than my own father was. Now, Jordan's a hell of a guy, and I don't want to dispute anything in his accomplishments. He's a great competitor. And whoever he's facing at DKW, you guys better watch out, because that kid...
You got a new guy for him. Better watch out.
Yeah. I don't care what you're saying, Cry. I just broke you in Rage of the Cage. But what I'm saying is, you guys have something coming. Whoever in DKW has the balls, they're going to be walking back to that stage with them tucked between their legs after Jordan beats them.
Let me ask before I bring on our guest. I want to get to him. Our next guest here, who's going to join us here for a little while and hang out for the second half of the show here. Let me ask the DKW guys this question. I mean, would you have allowed this situation to happen to you with Omen Black? I mean, what do you guys all make of what happened between Omen and Jordan, and kind of that Omen was blindsided tonight? Yeah,
wouldn't happen on my end because I don't have anybody on my side. I'm a loner. I work alone.
You are, yeah, you are a loner. I will definitely say that.
I don't have this faction that needs to back me. I just do all my own work.
What about you, Darkon?
I didn't see it coming.
You were there. You were the one.
Yeah.
Maybe you should have waited. Maybe you should have waited because it could have been you. I mean, I guess not, huh? I mean, you were the unfortunate victim, and then all of a sudden, when Omen turns around there for you, Combat Joe, what did you make of this whole situation here? I mean, what did it happen to you?
Same as the rest of DKW said, that never happened to me.
I got one more follow-up for Omen before, and I'm going to bring on Chris Craven in a second. Omen, I've gotten to know you a while now. I've gotten to know you a few months, right? This is your show. This is your house, right? You know that we like you here on Sportswire, right? You are our favorite Black officially, right? But something seems different tonight. Usually you come on here and you rage on Craven Rage, and you rage on this wrestler and that wrestler, and you've always got a good reason to back it up because, well, you are the leader of the House of Wolves. You've been the man in the IMF. You're 5'11", 385, but something seems different tonight. I don't know, just a different Omen Black. It's almost like maybe it's seeing black. I don't know.
No, I don't know I don't want to get emotional. I don't want to show that side of myself.
We don't want that because Craven Rage will be out there and he'll say, I told you so, and I'm the greatest, so we don't want to do that. We don't want to go that far.
No, I'm hurt. I'm really hurt.
Well, you do seem hurt.
My body may be at 100% for this chump or champ, my bad, in Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
But mentally, I'm not okay.
I want to bring on our coach here.
Who did that to you?
Ooh.
Remember who did that?
Kron, we may be a team, but don't get anything twisted like his dry dreads.
Oh, well, speaking of
people, going to break down real quick.
Well, you know what? Before things start to get ugly here on Sportswire, I want to bring him on because I'm calling him as our coach. He's kind of our new favorite here on Sportswire. He's the other Craven, you might want to say. He's the KKK. He's going to maybe his thoughts on what he's hearing tonight. That is the legendary Mr. Chris Craven. I mean, Mr. Craven, the ruler of the Thursday night show here on Sportswire. From Mr. Craven, maybe the Thursday night backyard nightmare tonight. Mr. Craven, first of all, how are you doing? And what's your observation on this whole situation with Omen Black here and Omen losing the title, but also losing a brother, it seems? It seems like Omen right now is concerned that he's lost someone close to him. I mean, have you been in this situation before? You've been a champion. You've been a big superstar. You've been out there in those big locker rooms. You know how this goes here. I mean, what do you make of this? You're our coach. I mean, Coach Craven, what do you think about all this?
All right, let's start the school session. Let's get down to business. Personally, for Omen Black, I know that what it's like to have a brother in the locker room. All right, my brother actually did wrestle for a while. Sometimes you just gotta smack a bitch. Sometimes you just gotta let all that shit go and smack a bitch, man. Stop worrying about your country album. No, wait, hold on, let me finish. Stop worrying about your country album. Stop worrying about your.
You got introduced as KKK, and you're making country jokes to me.
Well, I said KK, not KKK, thankfully.
I heard 3K.
I had said 2.
I might have heard 3, but hey.
3.
Well, let's go to the tape here. But Mr. Craven, Mr. Craven, we lost him. Well, maybe he'll come back. We'll come back here. Craven, we hope to bring you back here. Maybe you've had the backyard nightmare of Wi-Fi here. But, coming back here, Soldier, I mean, you did something that I don't know if we saw coming at Rage in the Cage. I mean, did you do something more than take that title away from Omen Black? What do you say to that?
I personally don't believe this whole he's more sad that he lost his brother over him losing the title. He ain't fooling me.
You sure? Because he really seems sincere right now. He seems like, I mean, we're even having him lose off the street. Maybe he's right now kind of like thinking about being here tonight. I mean, obviously we see him drop off a couple times here. Maybe, he's not taking it well here. Matthew Forsaken makes a fair point. It would not have happened to Matthew Forsaken. I mean, Mr. Black's arch nemesis, Craven Rage, is going to talk about he's the backyard nightmare. He's the ruler of the WCR. He has no friends. I mean, but Omen apparently, he's vulnerable now. He seems to be weak. Maybe he had feelings after all. I don't know. You know him, Soldier, better than I do.
And a snake is still a snake. Doesn't matter.
That's true.
Snake is still a snake. That's my opinion. I don't trust him. But I've never trusted Omen. Never trusted Omen. He's a snake.
Management calling me not to beat up Craven that bad next year and Rage in the Cage.
Oh, so you say? So are you saying, or are you trying to say here is that Craven Rage essentially you're worried about beating him similar to like how Hogan couldn't get chair shots in WCW? Is that what you're trying to say?
Let's just say it's going to be a really bad day for Craven Rage or backyard wet dream or.
Well, some people might have backyard wet dreams. That's up to them. But Omen, you seem different tonight, though. I don't know what it is, Omen. You seem human for the first time. You seem human.
I've always been a human, Tom.
Yeah, but you were undestructible. Listen, they may call Jack Delta, the destructive Jack Delta. You literally were undestructible. Nobody could ever do it. Omen, but since you've been here on Sportswire, you have been always the big bad champion. You have always been the guy that nobody can step up to. We've heard it here show after show on Sportswire. But tonight, it's almost just, it's different. It's just different tonight. It's almost like you went from a Slipknot song to a Rod Stewart song. That's the truth.
No, I hate being on my show like this. But
you're in your house tonight, and it seems just different. I don't know what to say.
Oh, let's get past it. I'm not trying to dwell on it on Sportswire.
Okay, because WCE is going to be hearing this, especially that other champion, that other promotion. But for the DKW guys, do you notice what I'm noticing here? That we've seen some vulnerability tonight.
Hey, Bryce.
And Mr. Craven, welcome back.
Sorry, Wi-Fi went out, man.
I'll keep it. I realize everybody's Wi-Fi is what it is, so I'll be respectful of people's times here. Let's bring you in here, Mr. Craven. You spoke about the fact you had a brother in this business. You spoke about the fact for a little bit, for those that are watching, you're our coach here, that Omen right now is different, even from last week. I mean, you have to talk about this vulnerability that we've seen from Omen Black, and how do you think this is going to impact this big show we have coming up here between DKW, IMF, Summer Bash this weekend?
Well, like I was trying to say before I got cut off. Oh, you got to look at this thing, man. You got to look at this for what it is. Like, I mean, like I said, I've had a brother in the business. I've trained many people that I brought up from nothing, and they're moved on to bigger and better things. And you get blackmailed. People turn on you, screw you over, they fuck you over, and you want to beat their ass, dude. You got to let go, because when it comes time to ring the bell, you're either going to beat someone's bitch or you're going to make someone your bitch. So it's all about that. They've already walked all over you. No, hold on. They've already walked all over you. They've already embarrassed you. That part's done. Cut it the fuck loose. Let it be more thoughtful about it. Cut it the fuck loose. And literally just get the job done. That's really all you can do.
No, I appreciate your opinion. It's a fresh wound. It's a fresh wound.
I don't know. Go take a towing strap and ratchet his ass to the ring post and beat him with a chair. Like, hook his ass up, beat him till he's bloody or he cries wolf or whatever,
Now, Mr. Craven, am I getting this straight here? Because Mr. Black is going to be in the ring here this weekend coming up against Matthew Forsaken, who's obviously the DKW champion. Are you trying to imply here, Mr. Craven, Mr. KK, not Mr. KKK, Mr. KK, double K? I want to make sure.
Please, thank you.
You're welcome. Mr. Double K, are you saying that actually Mr. Forsaken actually could be the last person right now that would want to be in the ring with Omen Black, because Omen could take all of this angst this weekend against the current DKW champion? Could this be a problem for Mr. Forsaken, you think?
Well, I can tell you right now, someone like Forsaken, looking like he would come out of like the IHOP kitchen, going into a ring with somebody that got nothing to lose. He's got nothing to lose. He's back against the wall. He's got nothing to lose. I'd watch out. I wouldn't take him lightly. Even whether you're afraid of him or you're not, I would not take him lightly. And Omen, he's a skinny little runt, looks like on that video. Just sit on his ass.
Mr. Forsaken, do you want to respond to what just Chris Craven said? Because basically what Mr. Craven is comparing you to is what Kevin Nash said to CM Punk, calling him a short order waffle cook. That's basically what he's telling you. I mean, you have to respond to that here, champ.
Hold on. His Wi-Fi just caught up with us.
So maybe the short order waffle cook Wi-Fi came into play, right? There we go. How you doing, champ?
Look, he's not frozen anymore.
We are all for frozen. Mr.
Right,
Forsaken,
right.
Respond to that.
His internet's forsaken.
So are you talking Raven, who's gone again? Shit.
What? I'm waiting. Go ahead.
Dude, I ain't worried about this weekend.
You should.
It's all out hell. This is my rules. This is,
he could be your house, but he can sit on you and then play a Luke Combs album.
I've been in the ring with Omen already. I know how powerful he is, but I know how to get around his weight. I'm not. If you want to go one-on-one, Mr. Craven, you can. You can feel my strength.
Why? Because you got to shop at Home Depot and get thumbtacks and hammers and light bulbs?
No, I don't even shop.
Let me ask you something real quick. Do you get a discount? Do they give you a discount on hardware? Or do you go to the grocery store and get like the cookie sheets that are like $5 off the cooking shelf rack?
Hey, I like those though. Some of those cookie sheets are good. They're good for cooking.
Let me tell you something about Home Depot shopping. Going hardcore is all fun and dandy, but if you don't know what you're doing in that ring, swinging any kind of weapon ain't get you nowhere. I'll tell you that right now.
I kind of think I know what I am doing since I am the champion, and none of these other things.
I've had those before too. They're fun.
All right, let me ask you a question, Mr. Craven, because we are here on Sportswire Radio with DKW, IMF, and our coach, the legendary Chris Craven, Double K here, not to be confused with Double J, Jeff Jarrett. And we are here speaking all things related to DKW, IMF Summer Bash, a 2-day event here this week. You can go to Dark Cryptic Wrestling, IMF Wrestling 666, IMF_Wrestling on Instagram as well. My name is Reverend Tom Bryce. Mr. Craven, I got a question here for you because the guys are going to appreciate this answer. Maybe you have an answer for us. Have you ever wrestled outside in puddles of rain and on top of that in a steel cage? Because this is what these guys did at Rage in the Cage 2 weeks ago. So have you ever done something like this? And if you have, what was that like?
My very first show was in the rain. And we didn't give a shit. We put a tent over the equipment to keep it dry, and we went out there and we got our fucking selves dirty. You do what you got to do. It's not the first time I've wrestled in the rain. It's not the first time I've wrestled in 3 feet of snow.
Well, you got to talk about that because I know that some of the IMF guys and our friends over at Legendary Backyard Wrestling attempted some of that, but what the hell was that like? 3 feet of snow, Mr. Craven.
Well, you just, you can use a snowball as a hardcore weapon. No, it's cold. That's for certain. But it's a lot of fun.
Well, I guess you really could be the backyard nightmare because that must be a nightmare to wrestle in 3 feet of snow. Right?
Dude, I've wrestled in snow. I've wrestled in rain. I've wrestled in concrete alleys down in the city.
I think I got you beat. I wrestled in Ohio.
I've wrestled on piers. I've wrestled on piers by the ocean. It's not like,
we get that. Thanks.
He sounds like he's used to wrestling his sister on the hillbilly farm with a stack of hay.
All right. Well, I mean, I guess that we're seeing this is really getting interesting here because Mr. Craven, our coach, is certainly giving assessments here. But I mean,
can I ask a question? Can I ask one question, please?
You asked me 1,000.
What is the deal with this Combat Joe guy here? Should you just call yourself like G.I. Joe? Like, what is this? Looking like the little teenager in his parents' house, living in your bedroom. Like,
okay. Combat.
I gotta know, man. Look, just call yourself G.I. Joe. Child's play thing? Are you a child's play thing?
Ring and find out.
Don't laugh over there, Kid Rock. Dark Crown over there laughing like, come on, man. Stop. Duck Dynasty is the only one keeping a straight face right now. He is the only one keeping a straight face. Mr. Two Belts.
You can try to get that belt off me.
Tom Bryce, I'm going to say the same thing I told Craven Rage the last time I was on here. You got to cut a promo. You want to talk shit to someone. You want to deliver, then deliver. Don't sit there and laugh because you think the other guy's jokes that he's using against you is funny. What is this? Am I a comedian? Is this a comedy show?
Well, I think what you're trying to say. I understand what you're trying to say. Are you trying to say, Mr. Craven, that there's mind games that some individuals might be playing and others might be falling into that trap? Is that what you're trying to say here, Mr. Craven?
I think when someone shoots on them, they find it funny. More in a, oh, that guy's funny. Worse than a, oh, well, laughing at the guy like he's a joke. Like the guy's the joke.
Well, that's almost like the adage, no, of basically the person who thinks the meal is being cooked for them. They're the one that's being the meal that's being cooked. Is that kind of what you're trying to say here, Mr. Craven?
I just call it like it is, man. I say this. If you can't keep your composure and you can't keep your, we'll put it this way, you can't keep your gimmick and you can't keep your character, what are you doing here? You can hold up all the belts you want. You can have all the wrestling t-shirts you want. You can have all the action figures hanging in your bedroom you want. You can do anything you want in a ring. You can shop at Home Depot or Lowe's. Which one's cheaper?
Which one do you prefer, by the way, Home Depot or Lowe's?
I like to go around the neighborhood and scavenge.
Oh, so you might like the local mom and pop hardware. So maybe you get a deal.
You know what? I got a tree right here. I can grab a switch off and whoop someone with. I don't need a stop sign or a chair.
Well, you know,
I don't need any of those. I can use all the moves in my feet anytime.
Do you know any moves?
Oh yeah, very much so. We can grapple all day. We can do wrestling.
Let me guess. You used them on the WWE video game, right? Those moves?
Don't play video games.
I go to the ring. You want to step in the ring? I can show you everything. Man of 1,000 holds, I got those too.
Oh God, we got another Mark. Oh Lord. Oh Lord, we got another Mark one here. It's another Craven Rage. You might as well get a mask. It's painted red and black.
Well, you know, Mr. Craven, there's some people that have messaged me, and this is going to be maybe where some of these guys come in here. We are certainly in the throes of this war. Obviously, this is the war that everyone's been talking about, the biggest war since the WWF and WCW, Nitro versus War. But there are some people, Mr. Craven, that have said to me privately that you're looking to make a name off the expense of some of these newer guys, that you're the guy making a comeback here, and that you're looking to kind of usurp yourself back into the top, back into somewhere off these guys. Is that a fair statement? And what would you say? Now, this is not my opinion. This is what other anonymous wrestlers have kind of told me privately, that you're basically making your comeback here and kind of bringing yourself back into power, almost at the fruition of some of these guys that we have on here tonight, whether it's a Matthew Forsaken, certainly Mr. Black, Mr. Soldier, Mr. Darkhorn, or even Mr. Combat Joe, and obviously one of your other favorites, the other Craven. What would you say to some of that?
It's like you asked me this question the last show about whether the question was asked of me if I'd ever make a return in the ring. It's not about a comeback. No. It's about, and it's like I said this at the last show too, it's about give and take. It's about putting something out there that other people can use as well. Like, I can sit here and shoot on every last one of these wrestlers. Would it do them any good? Who knows? Would they take it and say, you know what? That's an interesting way of looking at a promo or shooting on somebody. Let me try that to somebody in my own fed. You call me the coach. Okay. Well, the best thing that I would say this is me just trying to be part of something. It has nothing to do with a comeback. Even if I did step back into a ring, the initial goal is to offer something.
Okay, so let me ask you a coach question then. Let me bring it back here. I realize we got limited time. We want to get statements from everybody, and I want to get a statement from you, Coach. So let me ask you then, we spoke about this at the very beginning of the show. You'd be a great person to kind of get a thought or two on this. We spoke about the fact that in backyard wrestling, per se, we don't see a lot of cooperation between companies. We see a lot of, like, maneuvering, sniping behind the scenes. Basically, people are not working together. But let's break the wall a tad, not fully. But the IMF and DKW have a working relationship together. They've been working together for a while, maybe similar to the way it is in New Japan, AEW, and Impact and AEW for a while, the NWA and AEW during COVID. You can go and make more examples. But do you feel that, let's say, because you're a former yarder as well, you've been in the yard scene, you know how this goes. Do you think that we should see more often companies cooperating with each other, like a DKW and an IMF, for example? And if so, why don't we see more of it? And what's your overall impressions toward that?
I say mix it all up. Competition is the best way to not only expose someone else, but expose yourself in good ways and bad ways. Like, let's take an example. Say Mr. Black, he only wrestles, hypothetically, let's say he only wrestles for one company. But Combat Joe and Two Belts, they wrestle for 5 different companies. They're getting 5 times more of the exposure. So is the organization. Because these guys are going off and they're posting 5 different elements of content versus the one guy posting only one branch of content. I say mix it all, because if at the end of the day, if we're all here doing the same thing, if we're all here trying to give the same result, the same entertainment, why be different? Why be separate in getting it out there? Right? And as far as the reason why people don't do that, I'll give you the biggest reason: ego. Ego is the biggest reason, in my experience, why people won't work together, or they won't combine companies, or they won't cross brand or won't cross promote. And that has a lot to do with the fact that, one booker or promoter may think their shit's better than the other, and then vice versa. Or some script writer doesn't want anybody stepping on their toes. Well, it's all about compromise. Get rid of your ego and compromise. Now, to all the gentlemen that are on here, I'll shoot on you. I'll promo. I got no problem doing that. But in all hindsight, put character aside a minute, put a gimmick aside. I'm sure every last one of you brings something to the table. Right? So at the end of the day, if you're bringing that something to multiple tables, you're doing it just that much better. Because not one, you're cooperating, and two, you're getting the exposure of where you're working and what you're working out there without the ego.
All right, that's a good answer. You jump in, Mr. Owen.
I want to just say, going off what he said, I think IMF has been doing that. We're trying to bring back territories, and I don't want to toot IMF's horn, but we kind of run the Midwest. But breaking character, DKW and IMF have a great relationship, and we're all just trying to get the one thing: bring people together. Now, I don't know if you guys see what we just did. We kind of call ourselves the Four Horsemen of the Midwest. And I know it's kind of cheesy. It's fine, though, because that's truly what we believe in. We're the Four Horsemen of the Midwest. No one's doing it like us in the backyard scene in the Midwest. No one.
No, I agree with that. I would agree with that. I think that
now this upcoming year, Rage in the Cage, Chris Craven, you'll see that IMF and DKW are bringing more people and more federations in. They're seeing what we're able to do together. They're like, man, I want a piece of that. And Rage in the Cage, we're going to bring, I don't want to spoil anything, but we got 2 companies coming besides IMF and DKW.
Okay, all right. Those 2 companies shall remain anonymous.
Well, you know what? If it's going well, and it's compromised, and it's worked with, and it's progressive, go for it.
But you're right, though. Ego is one of the main tarnishes of backyard wrestling for working feds together. That is one of the biggest tarnishes between relationships. The ego. My federation would be winning. Oh no, our federation would be winning. That's not.
I'll say this. This is a golden rule. This is a golden rule, and it's well known. A lot of people don't like to hear this. A lot of people don't like to say this. This is the golden rule with any promotion. No matter if you're backyard or you're all the way up to Vince McMahon. Okay? If you're booking yourself to win and you're the runner of the organization, or you're the booker, or you're the script writer, and you're booking yourself as the main attraction, you've already failed.
Without a doubt.
You've already failed. And that is, we got a couple companies out here in Maryland where I was at when I did my thing. We had the BEWA, we had XMW, we had WCF, and we had United Wrestling Corporation. And at sometimes they could cooperate, and then sometimes they couldn't. I had a gentleman by the name of Damien Fatal who thought that he could book every last one of the shows and his shit didn't stink until people didn't show up at his shows anymore. Not just the wrestlers, but fans. He couldn't get no one to come watch his show because he had him and 6 of his buddies on top the entire run of the WCF.
And I'm not going to be in character. I'm just as a wrestler. And I'm not Owen Black. I am the guy who plays Owen Black. Since we started
your real name, Tom?
No. Since we started last year, all 4 of our dreams, myself, Forsaken, Kron, and Soldiers, we want to bring people together. And me and Soldier have been doing good at that, bringing Anthony Steele, other outsiders, bringing DKW. They allowed us to come in their home. And I think other federations are finally to see, like, you know what, that it's beneficial for both federations if done right. And you give the fans what they want to see. 2 federations going at it, like the best of both feds. That's like pay-per-view worthy stuff right there.
It's competition. The best way, like I said, the best way you can expose what you got is good competition.
And I'll say the Soldier and I, we kind of, here in the Midwest. We opened that I'm a callback, Forbidden Gate.
It's all right. You can say Forbidden Door. It's all right.
No, it's a previous show when me and Soldier started calling out WC.
Or what? Did you say gate because the backyard actually has a gate?
Soldier, am I saying it wrong? It's Forbidden Gate, bro, or forget it.
It's a forbidden gate.
I think Jovi had a different line or something like that. The Forbidden Yard, something like that.
Yeah, Jovi called it a forbidden gate, and I said a forbidden fence or something like that, and I said I was at the gate knocking.
And
he called it a forbidden fence.
hole.
I said I was at the gate knocking.
And whichever it is, that door is finally opening, and DKW and IMF, we're proving it works.
No, it definitely
in the
does
backyard
work.
scene.
I think, look, just with us, right? Just covering you guys and watching you guys, the last couple of months, it's special to see what you guys are doing and having those opportunities, to work with the different companies on Sportswire, even having Craven here and just with you guys and having all these people pop in and these other companies, TBW, and ROEW, these other companies out there that having those opportunities, but especially the IMF and DKW, what you guys are doing. But I know we're coming close to closing thoughts here. So
Can I say one more thing?
Absolutely. You can say 10.
I don't know if any federations are listening right now, but I'll give you one.
One of them will. One of them I know will for sure eventually. One of them will.
I'll give you one tip.
Okay.
Soldier can attest to this. The reason why we're working with so many feds because me and Soldier went on their YouTube and start calling out people in their comments until the point where, all right, this guy's calling us out. We have to say something. So just getting under people's skin, it works out.
You know what they call that? What they call that in politics? They call that earned media. They call that earned engagements. What you did basically was direct engagement, going directly to those companies, to their pages, and basically saying, look, here I am. You have to pay attention to me. And that's how you do in anything in life. You get into the people's face.
It works. That's how we started. He said something about me.
That's it.
I started it with DKW when I called out Forsaken, and Soldier started it with calling out WCE. I forgot which wrestler at the time, but we commented so much that they had to say something, and we found out that he's going to be on Sportswire. All right, perfect opportunity.
As soon as we found out they were serious, we got it. We've had some people make comments and talk about doing stuff, but then they fail as soon as we talk about setting up a date.
Like Soldier started calling out this company in Texas, and I joined in on it, and they just didn't want to join up. They just didn't want to join, and it's sad to say, I would have loved to work with the company in Texas, EBW, but they just didn't want to. They just didn't see the point that opening this gate is going to bring more fans in, more exposure, and you're giving your fans what they want to see: new competition.
I like wrestling with different people.
And they can't decide who's gonna win. Like storylines inside regular companies get boring after a while. It's stale. You know who's gonna win, but when you go against other companies, you don't know who's gonna win. Like the fans watch, they don't know if Omen's gonna beat this guy or Soldier's gonna beat this guy, or if they're going just to get their asses whipped.
The comments say set on fire. Before and after match.
Oh, listen, and I'm gonna jump in on that because as I do a lot as we all know with the British wrestlers, the promoters there, those comments, without the comments, they don't promote their shows. So obviously there's no question that the comments bring something. So you almost have that battle. It's that battle in the streets, and what you guys are doing, does all that. And I commend all of you, and I commend Coach Craven for being with us. And that's how Coach Craven got involved, because he saw Craven Rage on the stream and said he's the real Craven, and he's showing why that he might be at least the original owner of the Craven name. And I'm sure Mr. Rage will be back at some point here very soon, and maybe we'll see these two face off again. But I want to give everybody the opportunity now to kind of say something before closing thoughts. I'm going to go with Combat Joe here first. Combat, I'm going to give you the opportunity. Anything you want to say to anybody, and maybe even Dirty Donnie, before this weekend coming up here at Summer Bash?
Really, I'm just a quiet person, but Dirty's got time coming. Corey.
I can hear you too well, Bubba.
Come closer to the mic.
Can you hear me good?
I think it's the Wi-Fi.
McDonald's Wi-Fi. I'm telling you.
That's why we're gonna move. We're gonna just move on here and just get this because we'll get to closing thoughts right after this. Mr. Forsaken, you're on champion. Anything you want to say to Omen? Anybody else in the tag match before this weekend?
Yeah, so I mean, me and Soldier tagging. Yeah, Omen Black and Dark Kron. Good luck. But the champ, DKW, easy. This match. Clean sweep. I'll let Soldier wear down Omen for me. Omen go toe to toe. No. Blood and violence, and suffering. We all shall be forsaken.
Okay, we'll certainly have to see it, Mr. Darkron. Anything you want to say toward your
Counting down the
opponent?
days. Counting down the days, Soldier. Like you said, tick tock, tick tock. Title's coming home.
Soldier, you want to say anything else?
After our match is going to end the same way it did the first time. Me laying you out. And then, like I said, I'm going to be nice. I'm going to sign this shirt and hand it to you because that's the only time you're ever going to touch the DKW hardcore title again. Is when you look at it.
I'll choke you out with that shirt and beat you with the title. That's how I'm going to win.
I've already beat you. See, I'm not worried. I've already beat you. You have to beat me, and you haven't, and you won't.
I will. Your time's coming. Tick tock, like you said, Soldier.
I'm gonna tell you exactly what you told me the first time we talked. I'm gonna zombify your ass.
Wait for it, popular monster.
And then to you, Mr. Chris Craven. I offer you, we talked about raising the cage 2, bringing everybody in, all that stuff. If you're, your body feels up to it, we can make room for you in that cage too. You got a smile on your face because you want that shot. You want a spot in the cage. That put a smile on your face. I like to see that. You were all aggressive towards everybody else.
His smile ain't because he would have put me in the cage. The smile is, I think it's a mistake you asking.
Put him in there with Combat Joe. Felix.
No.
Why? So I can beat Joe with a Big Mac?
I'm offering you a spot. It doesn't matter who you fight. I'm just offering you a spot. It could be me. You fight. It don't matter. I'm just offering you a spot.
Tom's usually here to oh, okay, Omen, here's your final thoughts. But since Tom's not here,
we took over his show.
Where is Tom?
We took it over.
I think he passed out from no sleep.
Well, it looks like I got Omen back.
There's Tom.
Well, I'm back, thankfully.
Okay,
so we left off here. I think we lost some people. So, you got
Mr. Two Belts offered me a spot in his cage match.
I'm offering you a chance to come to IMF. You've been running your mouth all night. I'm offering you a chance to come to IMF and prove what you be talking.
What do you say to that then, Mr. Craven?
Anytime you want to come up to Iowa, I'll gladly take you on in that ring.
Okay.
Doesn't matter when.
Okay.
So is that yes?
Soldier GP, Mr. Hill Life 24/7 versus the original Craven.
Sounds good.
I'll say this real quick. If I do ever decide to step back into a ring, if I do, I'll say this to any one of you, including Mr. Two Belts there. which I only see one. Anywho. Oh, see, if you're going to give presentation, then deliver full throttle, man. Don't have one up your ass crack. Jesus Christ. If you're going to sit there and call people into a ring, if you're going to call people into a ring, listen here, Duck Dynasty, young man, pay attention. Pay attention. If I do decide to get back into a ring at any time in my life, I will give you a call. I will come out to where you're at, but I give you one piece of advice. Don't ever underestimate me. I can talk all I want, but you better rest assured, I do know how to wrestle.
I've heard the same thing from another legend.
I do know how to perform in a ring, or a yard, or an alley, or in the rain, or in any goddamn forsaken weather.
So do I.
Know how to deliver.
So do I.
And it won't matter how big you are, or how scary you are, or what kind of zombie makeup you have from Party City. I will put you on my shoulders, and I will drop you in a TKO.
I'm going to drop you.
So be careful. Be careful who you shoot at. I shoot, but I also know that I can deliver it.
So can I. I've been delivering it. You've seen our stuff. That's why you wanted to come on.
Pizzas around the neighborhood? What are you delivering? You do DoorDash?
I deliver when I step in the ring every time. Every time I step in that ring, I deliver.
This is good. This is a good exchange. I'm proud of you, Soldier. I'm proud of you because the last time I was on this show, I had this same conversation with Mr. Rage about needing him to deliver, to speak up, to put it out there, to be shot on and shoot back. And you're the only one that did that. Not even Mr. Rage himself got back on here and did that with me. But you did. I'll give you respect. I'll give you props for that. Really do.
And if you show up to IMF and fight me in the ring, I'll give you your props.
Maybe one day. Maybe one day.
Well, okay. I mean, certainly some people want to see it. Combat Joe says sorry that he's not here with us. He says he's got Wi-Fi issues. An individual who sort of name dropped says hello. We'll leave that individual out for all intensive purposes here, but I see where this is going. So let's give everybody closing thoughts here tonight. I'm going to go first here with Mr. Omen Black. Omen, I'm giving you the floor. Anything else you want to plug, share, say? And I guess it'll certainly be an interesting weekend for you. We'll see maybe how you bounce back. We certainly hope that things get better between you and your brother. Hopefully you guys, be reunited.
Oh, the hell with his brother.
All right. Well, I was trying to give him a
Listen here, Danny McBride. You're gonna let me talk.
All right. So you say the floor is yours, Omen. Closing thoughts. Say what you want.
Now, before I get interrupted by Danny DeVito from It's Always Sunny, I want to say this. I'm not worried about this tag match between Soldier and Forsaken. I've beaten both of them. I'm not worried about this DKW World Title match with Forsaken. I've beaten you. Now,
you put me through a table.
I just hope. Hey, McDonald's Wi-Fi. Get a better Wi-Fi connection, then talk to me. I'm hearing.
No, the other guy was McDonald's. He's Burger King. IHOP. I'm sorry. Shit.
I think that'd be a better connection. That's actually at least broadband.
Didn't Biden say everybody was going to get the best internet connection in a few years? Let's hope it happens sooner rather than later, regardless of what you think on politics. But that's another point. Go ahead, Omen.
I want you to think what's going to happen on July 1st in all out hell.
We're going to hell.
I'm still holding a grudge. I may be hurt by my brother, but I'm still holding a grudge from Rumble in the Yard. When you think you could powerbomb me and get the job done. Well, let's see. Let's see at Summertime Bash or Summer Bash, whoever cares. I don't care. Whatever it's called. I'm wrestling in shitty Ohio, for God's sake. July 1st. In this 2-day event, You're looking at your new DK World Champion.
I know. I'm still standing here.
Obviously, you don't get the word new. The definition is new, not the same.
I'm new, I'm old, I'm present, I'm always around.
And I'm
You
pretty
go
sure
get it, Black. You go get it.
Ron already buried you.
Fuck him up.
First one.
Smack his mom in the mouth while you're at it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm talking about Scott.
You been buried? Matthew's never been buried.
Well, let's take a walk down memory lane on July 1st, down to that little grave that you gave for Scotty. What's his name? Something forgettable.
You're right. He's gone.
Let's go walk down memory lane.
Where I buried Scott Hartman.
Go dig up his body. Lord.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll have to certainly see and find out. Let's go to you, Mr. Soldier. Then we'll go to the DKW guys. Then Mr. Craven himself. Soldier, I give you the floor. Anything else you want to plug, share, say, and the floor is yours.
I said what I said. Kron, TikTok, kid. TikTok. Craven.
Yes.
The opportunity's there. I'm knocking on your front door. Answer the door,
I'm not
man.
at my door. I'm in a different state right now. I'm not home.
Oh, yeah, you're in Colorado, right?
I am.
So on your way back home, you should stop in Iowa so we can go toe to
I'll talk to
toe.
the plane captain to see if he can make a detour.
See the rapids, bud. See the rapids.
Yeah, don't set yourself on fire with that ash from that cigarette, because Colorado's already on fire as it is.
I'm good. It's raining out. I got immediate flame retardant. It's good.
Well, I guess the ruler of the yard expression will wait another day when it comes to that. But good enough there, Soldier. Appreciate that, Darkron. Anything else you want to say here? Any other closing comments before we move on?
Yep, tune in Saturday. Watch this bloodbath when I beat this dude's ass. Take my belt back.
It ain't going to be ketchup. That's what I'll say. So certainly it'll be one for the ages. Mr. Forsaken, we are all Forsaken. Anything else you want to plug, share, say before Saturday, Summer Bash, the be-all, end-all of the summer here?
All right, Felix, don't think I forgot about you. Go get your little title shot. Some forsaken reasons you can beat me. You can have a little. I'm going to wipe the floor with you, Felix, and in a moment I'm coming to you. Well, yeah, okay, cool. Still understand me, hear me on meeting you Saturday. You'll understand me. You'll feel everything.
Well, we'll have to find out here. Yeah, we'll definitely find out here for All Forsaken. Hopefully, we do get better Wi-Fi connection. We'll be all Forsaken. At least let's move up to Tim Hortons Wi-Fi. But hey, that's here nor there. I certainly saved last year, as always, impactful. Our coach, Mr. Craven himself. You certainly made yourself an interesting part of the discussions here. We'll see what the future brings. I have no doubt we're going to see you here later this week for another segment. You're a staple of the team now, Coach. I give you the floor, Coach Craven. Anything else you want to plug, share, say, fire away.
I appreciate that. I can't wait to the next show. I love this shit.
Good. We like having you, Coach.
And just for a personal note, I'm becoming a real big fan of Mr. Black. I hope he spanks whoever the hell he's got to face in the upcoming future. I want you to spank him. I want you to spank him good. Lay that fucking 50-pound beard on him and knock him the fuck out. Like, really, really. I'm digging Mr. Black shit. But in all kidding aside.
Thank you, Danny McBride.
I don't think you look like Danny McBride. I see more of this.
I leave Luke Combs.
Hey,
all right.
Give me a hat.
Get yourself a guitar and a cowboy hat. You'd be good. Anywho, in all kidding aside, all gimmick aside, everything.
That's what Miss Omen Black says. I look like Luke Combs.
I appreciate everything with the show. I think that it's great that y'all get on here and do this stuff. And I know Mr. Bryce will be calling me a coach and everything like that. Go back to something that was said recently about making a name for myself. I don't need to make a name for myself. I've already done that. 27 years of doing this. I don't need to do that. the good thing about this, being able to do this, whether I get in a ring or not, the good thing about this is that I hope to help everybody that participates in these feds or participates on the show can take something away from what I'm doing, or even a little piece of advice to help, to give back, to give other people their spot, their time, to give them any kind of anything so they can use it. Mr. Soldier, you like I said earlier, I said it in a gimmick, but I'll say it again. You're the only one on the last video that I've heard speak frequently. Mr. Black, you have too, but you took the words of deliver, put your point out and deliver in a shoot, and you used it. You used it. And I think that taking whether you did it because of what I said or not, anybody that can get in here, it's a craft. It's a craft. And if you are someone that wants to perfect that craft, then pick anything from anyone you can get. Just pick their brains, pick their style, pick the atmosphere of a show when you're at it. Just pick whatever you can, not to copy, but maybe to inspire, to maybe alter, mutate, change, morph into what you can become for the better, for your future, for these other feds. So when you guys join and you do these multiple promotional shows, that everybody across the band can go out there and put on a 5-star show, not match, show. Because at the end of the day, it's all about the craft. It's all about the show. And I just want to give back. It has nothing to do with whether I'm better or worse or whether how long I've been doing this. I just want to give back. So if I can say anything that helps anybody, like I gave a little tip to the last show, on the last call we had, Mr. Bryce, and that was give and take. This one is pick any inspiration from where you can get it from and use it.
Okay. All right. Well, you know what? Those are words we're going to certainly live by here, and we're going to be very excited about the show here coming up, the Summer Bash, the 2-day event. Very excited about IMF and DKW. Love both companies. Follow them on YouTube. Dark Cryptic Wrestling, IMF Wrestling 666 on YouTube, IMF_Wrestling on Instagram. Also, give a friend request to our friend Mr. Chris Craven on Facebook. Catch him if you're a fellow wrestler. Also, support these great wrestlers. Darkron, Soldier 2 Belt, to the IMF Tag Champ, first ever IMF Grand Slam winner. Also, DKW Hardcore Champion, Mr. Omen Black himself, needs no introduction, leader of the House of Wolves. We're all forsaken with our DKW Hardcore Champion and the man, the myth, the legend, the legendary Chris Craven, Coach Craven here we call on Sportzwire Radio, the other Craven. Some may say the original Craven. You can figure it all out here for yourselves. But my name is the Reverend Tom Bryce. Gentlemen, very excited about this weekend. I have no doubt it's going to be tough to certainly top Rage in the Cage, but if anybody can do it, it's DKW and IMF. Forget about the barbecues. Forget about Indiana Jones. Forget about everything else this weekend. I am looking forward to the future. Thank you, fellas. Good luck. Can't wait to do it again and recap the show afterwards. And we look forward.
I want a link. I want a link so I can watch, man. Come on,
yes.
Send something.
I'll send it to you. Somebody I'm sure here will send it to you. I think guys are friends with you already. We'll make sure that we take care of that here. So we'll definitely make sure, Coach, and who knows?
I tried messaging you. You don't.
Yeah, I did. Check it.
All right. Well, hopefully we sort that out. I'll make sure we have your profile here. But thank you, everybody, for tuning in on Sportswire Radio. I will be back here Saturday afternoon because tomorrow I'm supposed to be on the air, but I'm hoping to hit a pillow here in the afternoon. So I'm praying that, but we'll have to see. But I will be back here Saturday with Nensaw, Youngblood champion, Mr. Warhog, and also Sunday we'll be here with CJ Black and Jason Storm. Thank you, fellas. Looking forward to it. Speak with you soon, and we'll talk on Sportswire Radio. All right, ladies and gentlemen, good night, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are here. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce. If you're on sportarium.com/player, you go back to your regularly scheduled programming. If you're on Facebook and YouTube, I'll be back Saturday, 2 o'clock, 7 p.m. British Standard Time with Warhog. Also, I'll be back here Sunday with CJ Storm and Jason Storm. Thank you very much, and have a great night.